At what point did you kind of have an idea that you're up to something big? Like when was it when you said, I think this could really have some legs and turn into a real business?
So to be honest, it happened quite quickly. So I mentioned the Body Power Expo. I was at that expo, and this is when the business was very, very small. And I had it was like a proper innate gut feeling that we had to be there the following year. Bear in mind, at this point, we had no product to be there. I just thought we have to be here. Now, I think that was May 2011. We were walking around as customers, and I just thought, right, we've got to be here. I went straight to the organizer's stand, and I said, I want a stand here next year. What does it cost? I think it was £3,000 for the entry level stand. And I just, again, more money than we'd ever seen. But I thought, right, fine. We've got 12 months to pay for it. We'll find out a way of doing it. So we booked into that. And over the year, that's where we handmade a lot of these clothes and we built up the brand. Now, about 2 or 3 months before that event, the YouTubers that we've been sending product to, who had over time become friends that we've been chatting to over Skype, we invited them to come to the event with us. So they were all buzzing. Some of them were from the States and hadn't been to the UK before. Some of them were from the UK. And we did this event, and I'm not saying it was a corporate event because it wasn't, but we were just like, listen, we're here. We want to chat with the community. We would just love the community more than anything anyway. And almost like, by the way, if you want to buy some product, then that's great. But after the show, we're going to go to the gym and we can all lift together. And we sort of started to build this community. The show went really, really well. I was really happy with how it went. We sold out of a lot of the stuff. But over that weekend, because there was only a small handful of us in the business, we turned all the website off and we thought, right, we'll kick it back off Monday when the event's finished. Now, what I didn't realize is we'd stumbled upon, I guess, the sort of marketing mix, as you call it, of today. So we did an in real life event where we launched new product and no one could get their hands on it. We had all these YouTubers and what are now called social media influencers there that were posting on Facebook and YouTube and so on, and built up this huge, crazy demand and hype that everyone was looking at. And then, like I said, because we were going and lifting with everyone after the event, all of those guys were following us on social and sort of falling in love with the brand and the community that we were all building together. Now, after the event, I went home and I was sat at my parents' house one evening, and I just sort of turned the website on thinking nothing would happen, posted on Facebook just to let everyone know that it's back and we're launching the product that we'd sold at the event. Now, before the event, for context, we were selling on average £200 to £300 a day worth of product. Again, very, very proud of where we'd built up to. We were doing really well. The first half an hour after we turned the website back on, we sold £30,000 of product, sold out of everything. And I was literally, because the stock was set to infinite, I was having to go through each product and turn it off because we had to go and handmade the product. And I'll never forget it, right? Because it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. The website was turned off. We had £30,000 worth of revenue, more revenue than we'd ever thought was possible in a 30-minute period. And I was literally sat there on my own. I was thinking, okay, now we're on to something special. And that's when I left Pizza Hut. That's when I left university. And that's when everything was just all focused on Gymshark.
Wow. $30,000 in first 30 minutes. And you're used to doing 200 to 300 a day. And that takes off to 30,000. You turn off all the products. Okay. So when that happens, by the way, Ben, how many shirts have you personally sewn? If you were to say I've sewn that, so many shirts, how many have you personally sewn?
I could probably work it out. I would say, I would guess between 500 and 1,000. It wouldn't be massive amounts, but at the time it felt like a lot.
500 to 1,000. And so
people still have them. And when we go to events, prior to COVID, people would come in some of the original ones, and because there was always slight imperfections in the print or something, and I would just sort of instantly know and remember, and it would come back to me as to that's one of the handmade products.
Wow, I bet. I mean, it's a form of art when you're designing those, because it's limited edition. It's not necessarily something that's it's a one-off because it's being handmade. Okay, so that $30,000 event takes place in 30 minutes. Product's done. You turn everything off. What are you doing next?
Well, this is where it became what I would call like a real business, because this is where we had to sort of hire people. We were starting to buy in stock and take more and more risks. We got our first sort of unit / small warehouse. I think it was about 300 square feet. This is where it became a real business. And this is where I think I sort of really had to learn, because up until that point, it was just entrepreneurial. It was like there was no responsibility, for lack of a better term. It would just go where you want, do what you want, and it's just grow, and just go off and enjoy yourself. Now, at this point, we had to hire people and responsibility was happening. We were taking on leases. So that was a real sort of learning curve for me. And like I said, because I dropped out of university and my job, it was literally a case of, I'm all in on this. So 24/7, I was just all on Gymshark and essentially getting it to grow as quickly as possible. And I think what we did after that, and this is something that at the time came very naturally and it didn't feel like a risk, but looking back, I think it was a bit of a risk. That one event did well. So then we were like, right, let's sign up to every event that we possibly can. So we signed up to Body Power in Birmingham. We signed up to an event called FIBO in Germany, the LA Fit Expo in Los Angeles, the Arnold in Columbus, Ohio, Melbourne. And we literally just flew around the entire world, going to all these events. We spent every penny we had and just did event after event after event, whilst the guys were working back home in that new warehouse that we'd got to ship out the orders.
How did that, which one would, out of all the events you went to, I mean, you know, the Arnold Expo, 250,000 people show up. Was there one where you said, that was another one that was a big success?
To be honest, they were all really unique. So I'll always remember every single one of them, to be honest. So Columbus, Ohio was crazy because I didn't realize anywhere got that cold. So English winters aren't that cold. We went to Columbus, Ohio in, I think it was December. It was freezing, but it was the thing that shocked me about that event was the scale. It was, I don't know if you've been, it is huge. And the actual event is massive and they do so much, right? All the way from bodybuilding to, there was sort of like people to talk to around sort of joining the military. I think there was all these different sports, even having Arnold Schwarzenegger there was just an amazing thing to see. Whereas the European expos tend to be quite, you have a bodybuilding expo and then you have maybe a slightly different expo for a different thing. So that was amazing. But the thing that really hit me, especially going to places like Germany and the States, was it's almost hits you even harder doing it in the international stage because you just assume that no one has heard of the brand. And it was on that was the moment when I'm starting to realize that, wow, this social media thing, this website, online, direct-to-consumer e-commerce thing, it's a global thing now. Whereas when you're at home, it just feels like a little bit of a, you know, a thing that happens around where you are.
So if you like this little short clip from an interview I did, click over here to watch the entire interview. And please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.